The Los Angeles Dodgers are once again sitting at the center of the Major League Baseball offseason, and the latest signals coming from the front office suggest that something significant may be closer than many people expected. There's a clear sense that the organization is not done shaping this roster, and that the next move could dramatically alter the balance of the lineup. The focus right now is firmly on adding a position player who can impact the game on both sides of the ball, and that detail alone narrows the field in a meaningful way. The Dodgers have been methodical, patient, and deliberate throughout this process, but recent comments indicate that the pieces may finally be starting to align. What makes this moment particularly intriguing is the tone being used internally. Rather than vague optimism or standard off-season language, there is a sense of confidence paired with restraint, as if the Dodgers believe they are close but understand that timing will be critical. This is not about desperation or reacting to the market. This is about precision. The Dodgers know exactly what they want, and they're willing to wait if it means landing the right fit rather than settling for a move that does not fully elevate the roster. That mindset has defined this organization for years, and it is once again shaping how this offseason is unfolding. When you examine the roster as it currently stands, the need becomes obvious. The Dodgers are strong in many areas, but there are still questions about overall balance, especially when it comes to a position player who can deliver consistent offensive production while also providing reliable defense. The front office has made it clear that versatility and two-way impact are priorities. This immediately places the spotlight on a very specific tier of players, the kind who can change games without needing to be hidden defensively or protected in the lineup. Within that context, the conversation naturally shifts toward the type of contract structure the Dodgers appear willing to consider. There is a growing sense that shorter-term deals with higher annual value are very much on the table. This approach allows the team to remain flexible long-term while still maximizing their competitive window in the present. It is a strategy that aligns perfectly with where the Dodgers are as an organization, focused on sustained success without sacrificing future maneuverability. Paying a premium over a shorter span can make sense when the player in question fills a major need and raises the overall ceiling of the team. The idea of committing significant money for a limited number of seasons changes the dynamics of the market. It opens doors that might otherwise remain closed and forces difficult decisions for players who must weigh long-term security against immediate financial upside and competitive opportunity. For a star position player at his prime, this becomes a fascinating crossroads. On one side is the appeal of a long-term deal that stretches across a decade. On the other is the chance to earn top-of-the-market value annually while playing for a team that is positioned to contend every single year. From a Dodgers perspective, this kind of structure reduces risk. A shorter commitment means less exposure to decline years while still capturing peak performance. It also preserves the ability to pivot if circumstances change, whether that involves younger players emerging, roster needs shifting, or broader changes within the league. This is calculated aggression, not recklessness. The Dodgers are willing to spend, but they want to spend intelligently. Looking at the league-wide landscape, the numbers involved would place such a deal among the most significant contracts for position players. That reality cannot be ignored. Paying at the very top of the market is never a casual decision, even for an organization with the Dodgers' resources. The question becomes whether the production, durability, and overall impact justify that level of investment, even over a shorter time frame. When evaluating elite position players, the margin for error is slim, but the reward can be enormous. Defensively, the player profile being targeted must align with the Dodgers' emphasis on run prevention and versatility. Outfield defense, arm strength, range, and overall instincts matter deeply within this system. While not every elite hitter is a flawless defender, the Dodgers have consistently shown that they value players who can hold their own in the field without compromising the team's defensive structure. A player who grades out around league average or better defensively while delivering elite offensive numbers fits this philosophy well. Offensively, the expectations are even higher. This is about adding another presence that opposing pitchers must game plan around. The Dodgers already possess a deep lineup, But adding another elite bat can transform that depth into relentless pressure from the first inning to the ninth. Lengthening the lineup reduces opportunities for opponents to exploit matchups and forces tougher decisions in high-leverage situations. This is how championship-level offenses are built, not just with star power, but with balance and consistency. Age also plays a crucial role in this evaluation. Investing heavily in a player who is still firmly within his prime years makes far more sense than committing long-term money to someone approaching the later stages of their career. A shorter deal magnifies this logic, allowing the Dodgers to capture peak performance without carrying the burden of decline. It is a model that aligns with modern roster construction and reflects a deep understanding of how quickly circumstances can change in this league. The ripple effects of such a move would extend beyond the player being acquired. The outfield alignment, lineup construction, and even potential trade considerations would all come into play. Adding a high-impact outfielder could allow the Dodgers to reshuffle roles, optimize defensive assignments, and potentially create surplus value in other areas of the roster. This flexibility is one of the organization's greatest strengths, and it becomes even more pronounced when elite talent is added to the mix. There is also the broader strategic angle to consider. A move of this magnitude sends a message, not just to fans but to the rest of the league. It reinforces the Dodgers' commitment to winning now while still planning responsibly for the future. It signals that this competitive window is very much open and that the front office is willing to be aggressive when the opportunity aligns with their long-term vision. At the same time, patience remains a defining theme. The sense that things may take time suggests that there are still moving parts behind the scenes. Financial considerations, roster logistics, and market dynamics all factor into the equation. The Dodgers are known for their discipline, and they are unlikely to rush a decision simply to satisfy external expectations. Every move is weighed, modeled, and stress-tested before being finalized. As the offseason continues to unfold, all eyes remain on how this situation develops. The combination of need, available talent, and strategic flexibility makes this one of the most compelling storylines in baseball right now. The Dodgers are clearly positioning themselves for a major addition, and while nothing is finalized yet, the direction feels increasingly clear as the front office works to ensure that when the move is made, it is the right one at the right time. As the picture becomes clearer, the underlying logic behind the Dodgers' approach starts to stand out even more. This is not a front office chasing headlines or reacting emotionally to the movement around the league. This is a calculated attempt to maximize value during a very specific competitive window. The Dodgers understand that their roster is built to win right now, but they also recognize that maintaining flexibility is just as important as landing star talent. That balance is what makes this potential move so fascinating, because it reflects both urgency and restraint at the same time. When you dig deeper into the current roster construction, it is easy to see why a major position player addition remains such a priority. There is depth, there is talent, but there are also areas where a true difference maker could elevate the entire unit. Baseball is often decided on small margins, and adding one elite presence can tilt those margins in meaningful ways. A player who can impact games offensively while also stabilizing a key defensive position does more than just add numbers to the stat sheet. He changes how opposing teams prepare, how managers deploy their bullpen, and how pressure builds over the course of a series. Financially, the Dodgers are operating from a position of strength, but that does not mean they are careless. Every dollar allocated carries opportunity cost, and the front office is clearly weighing not just how much to spend, but how that spending shapes the roster over the next several seasons. Shorter-term deals with premium annual value are becoming an increasingly attractive option for teams that want to remain agile. This structure allows the Dodgers to absorb a higher yearly number without compromising future flexibility, especially if younger talent continues to emerge internally. From the player's perspective, this kind of offer presents a complex decision. The appeal of immediate top-tier compensation is obvious, but so is the value of long-term security. Choosing between a shorter, higher-paying deal and a longer contract with more total years forces a player to assess confidence in his own performance, durability, and market leverage down the line. Playing in Los Angeles, on a team consistently positioned for deep postseason runs, adds another layer to that decision. The competitive environment itself can be a powerful draw. On the field, the potential impact is hard to ignore. Slotting an elite bat into the middle of the Dodgers lineup would create constant stress for opposing pitchers. There are no easy outs, no obvious places to relax. Every at-bat becomes consequential, and that cumulative pressure often reveals itself late in games and late in seasons. This is how strong lineups separate themselves, not just through star names, but through sustained, relentless offense that wears teams down. Defensively, the fit matters just as much. The Dodgers value clean fundamentals, strong throwing arms, and smart positioning. Even if a player is not elite in every defensive metric, the ability to be dependable and make routine plays consistently is critical. When paired with offensive excellence, that level of defense becomes more than acceptable. It becomes an asset. The front office has shown time and again that they are comfortable betting on players who bring balance rather than one-dimensional production. Age and timing remain central to the evaluation. Investing heavily in a player who is still in his prime aligns with the Dodgers' emphasis on maximizing peak years. A shorter contract amplifies this advantage, ensuring that the team benefits from top-level performance without being locked into decline years. This approach reflects a broader trend across the league, where teams are becoming more selective about long-term commitments while still being aggressive in the short term. The ripple effects throughout the roster would be immediate. Defensive alignments could be optimized, offensive roles clarified, and depth leveraged more effectively. A major addition often simplifies decisions elsewhere, allowing players to settle into roles that better match their strengths. This clarity can have a noticeable impact on performance, especially over the grind of a long season where consistency and routine matter. There's also the trade landscape to consider. Adding a high-salary player on a shorter deal can actually increase flexibility rather than reduce it. Such contracts can be more movable if circumstances change, giving the Dodgers options rather than locking them into a single path. This risk management element is a key reason why the front office may view this type of move as relatively low downside, despite the headline numbers involved. The patience being shown suggests that there are still variables at play. Other moves around the league, potential trades, or internal decisions may need to fall into place first. The Dodgers are not operating in a vacuum, and timing can be just as important as intent. Waiting for the right moment can create leverage, both in negotiations and in roster construction. As anticipation continues to build, the sense remains that this is not a question of if the Dodgers will make another significant move, but when and how. The foundation is already strong, but the front office clearly sees an opportunity to push it even further. Every signal points toward a calculated strike rather than a rushed decision, and that deliberate pace has defined many of the Dodgers' most successful moves in recent years. The pieces are there, the need is clear, and the strategy is taking shape as the offseason momentum continues to develop. But before we move forward, don't forget to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest news about the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the news, so drop a comment below. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the American baseball world, whispers have emerged that the Los Angeles Dodgers are in advanced talks to acquire one of the San Francisco Giants' brightest stars. While neither team has confirmed anything, sources close to the situation suggest that discussions have been surprisingly serious, hinting at a blockbuster deal that could reshape the balance of power in the National League. The player in question, known for his electrifying bat and defensive prowess, has been a cornerstone for the Giants over recent seasons, earning accolades and drawing the attention of fans nationwide. Rumors indicate that the Dodgers see him as the missing piece to solidify their championship ambitions, potentially giving them an edge over rivals who have dominated headlines this year. The prospect of him switching leagues and suddenly donning the Dodgers' blue and white has ignited debates among analysts, with some questioning the implications for the Giants' lineup and others speculating on how this could influence the Dodgers' strategies moving forward. Insiders suggest that negotiations have been quietly ongoing for weeks, with multiple parties weighing the potential benefits and risks. While player movement between these historic rivals is rare, the financial incentives and the allure of a high-profile market might be swaying opinions behind closed doors. Social media is already buzzing with fans reacting to the possibility, ranging from disbelief to cautious excitement, as many consider what this would mean for future showdowns between the two storied franchises. Despite the intensity of the speculation, both teams remain tight-lipped. Sources close to the Dodgers hint at a willingness to offer a package that could satisfy the Giants' front office while securing the players' consent, suggesting that this isn't just idle chatter. Meanwhile, Giants insiders appear focused on evaluating the broader ramifications, aware that losing such a key figure could shift the dynamics of their roster for years to come. If the deal were to materialize, it would mark one of the most talked-about moves in recent baseball history, elevating the Dodgers' ambitions while plunging the Giants' faithful into a mix of shock and intrigue. Until official announcements are made, fans and analysts alike will be left to dissect every rumor, every insider comment, and every hint that this extraordinary transfer could indeed become reality. That's all for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay up to date with exclusive news about the Los Angeles Dodgers, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We always appreciate your comments and feedback. See you in the next video.